Now we're on to our second pass, and that means making more of what we've got, basically pushing things back, using that depth and so on. So if I look at this carving, and it's always a good idea to keep stopping and thinking, this stem is quite an important part in lining everything up relative to everything else. This is high, but it's high because this leaf here is further back. And this is high here because this is further back. And at the moment, this is pretty much here, very similar to this height, not much being taken off. And it's then dropping a little bit here. And what I want to do is I'm thinking that all of this bit here, this middle section, has to come right back. This leaf is coming right back. There's the background here. This leaf's in the upper bit, but still a little bit back. And this is way back, coming from here. But I don't want it to come too far back that it doesn't look as if it's part of that. So what I have to do is slope it from here down to quite a way back where that is coming out. So this top bit is pushed back. So that's going to be where I'm working now. And what's going to happen is I'm going to lose these points here. But again, I've got my drawing, I can redraw them back in. So from there, once I get that right, then these parts start falling into place. No detail, nothing much. And what I'm really interested in is like the top. If this is going to be circular, then I'm really interested in the top point of this stem as it comes through. Not worrying too much at the moment about rounding it over. So I'm just going to start removing wood. At a certain point, you're going to find that this lump here stops you getting into there. But as you begin to go downhill, you can come this way, and that'll be downhill with the grain. But the same is happening over here. I'm coming in this way, and this piece is getting in the way. So we can start looking at some of the others. Go as far as we can with this part, and of course, the stem goes up here. This is part of that leaf. The stem goes something like this. Good idea to redraw it. Then this leaf is coming over here. This petal rather. This one we can leave quite high, and we'll end up, this will be quite free. Let's just see how that goes. It might take it back, but careful about that. So we can start taking some of this wood off. This is a bit fat, but certainly can't be square. So we could round some of this over here. So start working on this into there. And notice that these leaves have a sharp edge and a rounded edge. So we can also start working on. And remember that this leaf is going to be enclosing that stems. So we can do some of this here and down into here. Yep, feeling that shape over there and this way. Yep, take wood off that one. And then we get some of that. We can also start taking more wood off here. pushing that right back. See how that was tending to split out here? That was me being a bit cavalier. So make sure we cut that there. To protect this leaf here. It's got good strong grain going up there, but as I said, the leaf might be further back, but it will be relative to something else. So take some wood out here. So and this edge at the back here is right at the back. And this front edge will be undercut, but not yet. Yeah. You need to remember that these edges are very much what we ended up cutting, and boring out. So what you're doing now is the actual shaping of the carving. So don't be stuck by exactly where these edges are. Let the form follow into it. So for example, here there's a nice little curve there that you might want to emphasize. And as you come down, I would still leave this mess here. So I'm coming right over here, but I wouldn't work there in case we want to alter it. So we can just set in later, but let's leave that for the moment. So I've set in, or rather established, where I think this stem, which of course will go into there, comes out of. So there's got to be a logistics here. So it comes about there, and I can come down here, and I've used my V tool to set in, rather line in those two edges. I can't get there yet, but that gives me a direction. And on this one, I've rounded that over. Again, it's a matter of feeling that round. Don't undercut anything, but you can just clean that up with the V tool. So that's starting to get that edge here, and the same here. And this leaf wraps around the back of this bud, so that's going to disappear around there. But that gives us a bit of room here to play with, getting in here a little bit more. And again, we can get our picture, and we can draw this in if we like. Okay, so we're getting this bit coming on. There's the back edge, that can come down. That's a little bit tricky in there for the moment, so we'll just leave that. So from here, let's move over to this area there. So similarly, we need to establish where this stem, and this is a stem here, comes out of this, this main part of this stem here. So there's a big stem, and then it goes into the flower up here. So we can start getting some shape into these, pushing that back, that's in there, and so on. So again, I'm using my deepish gouge, this is number 6, and I'm mainly, as you can see, still working across the grain, slicing, just nibbling, and I'm not going to come to the background again. I'm going to stop short. I'm going to come this way here, take that down, push this back, take some of that away. But I really need to be on the other side of the carving to do that, so to show you. So what I've been doing is rounding this bud over, and to be clear what's going on, I ran my V tool along here, and you can see the original line there, and that's coming round into this stem here. Now you have to remember that this bud is actually encased in a little, it comes between two leaves, so it comes back here, and there's a second leaf in there. So check your drawing, and that will be, the bud here, and so on. So this now is a leaf coming up. I've got a nice shape here, and this is echoing that. I think that's a lovely part of the design, this sort of echoing. It's a little bit flat here, but that's all right. And then this leaf comes round, and let me put it in with a darker pencil. It comes round the back. So this is sort of, this part is emerging out of a leaf which is clasping it, as opposed to this leaf, which is going to be free. So I now know that my stem is coming down here and is into there, and it's actually enclosed in this leaf. Okay, so it's coming up here. Let's push that back a bit more. So that's coming around there. So what this means now is that this can't be this high. This has got to be back, this whole area here. And what that will do is it'll make this bit lift out. So all that relative thing going on here. So what you need to do, and I'm about to cut all that off now, is make yourself a little sketch, little drawing, quite rough, but just tells you where things are. And then when you've got that, I mean, you do have your actual drawing, you can start taking a lot of this off. I wouldn't take that off yet, but this bolt here is quite high and it's coming round into here. So this has all got to go. And of course this is going to be curving back over here. And this one's coming back over here. So this one is heading over back there. Some of this is bound to come off, but that's a good point to leave because of my drawing. I did have that point in, so I know that's our reference point there. I've got that back a certain way, and now I think I'm going to redraw this just to be clear what's going on. So I can line that up where I had it here, and I can see that this comes around like that. Where are we? Right, this is important. This bit comes right over here. So what we're looking at here a bit of a scribble, but what's going to be happening here is this stem is wrapping into the underside of this petal, so that's now has to be hollowed out. And then let's get that lined up. Yep, something like that. That's coming over, and then this one is the top of that leaf as it comes over there like that. And then we have these coming down here. There's the edge that comes down there. And yep, there's that edge that comes down here. Then this petal is sort of just sneaking in behind and goes back and goes back, back. So what I can do now is I can line this one in. So that's going to be the top of that petal. I'm going to get in the way of the camera. So take those out here. I'll just put those lines in. Okay, so we might have to go back further, but at the moment what we're saying is that this bit is cut back, and I might need a deeper gouge for this. So that'll be scooped out. This part is going over like that. This part all needs clearing out. Because that's right at the back. And this part here is coming over into like this. Then that's scooped out here. So what we're doing is we're subdividing what's going on. So those stamens, they come from behind this petal. So that line actually has to go over there. So they're behind that, and that's a bit behind that. So there's a sort of layering going on, and you need to get in your mind what is, what is in front of what. So now we can just refine that a bit. Deeper gouge in here, cut that out. Not undercutting, but I'm coming to a vertical wall there. Take more of that out, of course. Keep an eye on that edge here. And over here. That line is where the petal itself has a bit of a central vein. So I'm not too worried about that, but the actual edge of the petal is over here. In fact, that would be better done with a flat gouge. We can just kind of flat the gouge upside down, push that across. So I'm going to take that back. I'm going to take that back and push that into there. The stamen here is probably, at the moment, I'm just above the height of the frame. So that's quite a way back, might even go back further. This line here, which is the edge of this petal, is coming round and it's going to go actually like towards the back. And then this front edge of the petal here, that's the horizon behind which this is going. And behind this little edge, this petal is going. Right, so we've got different levels going on here. This petal is right at the back, and you can see here I'm really quite close to the background already. This will be a very light one, that's just implying the petal going away. And I've been able to start undercutting here. Don't have to do far. And this now leads me back into this petal, so I can, this part, so I can do a little bit more work on that. This over here, I don't know if you can appreciate, but what we've got is an S-shaped petal here, an S-shaped edge. So it's a nice curve, there's no straight line, so you've got to get a nice curve here and here coming round. So this carving's all about these fluid lines. Even if they're not the real iris, it's a fluid line wood carving. So we'll get these lines here, this line here, these lines coming out and here. And next, from there, we don't have to go too far, we just have to make sure we're clear about everything. We're going to move up here and clear up this top bit. This top flower is carved very similar to the other one. Involving lining in and rounding and so on. But let me just point out a few things that are different. This petal here, there's a lovely line coming over and that drops down. It's all been pushed back, dropped down into the centre here. And the stamens coming behind that and behind this petal here. So this line here is the near edge, and we will be taking wood away from here underneath there. I've already started it, but don't take too much away, don't undercut that too much. It's as if this petal is dropping more away at the back, so we can see a bit more under there. Otherwise that's going to look very thin and flat, so we're going to keep a curve here. And how the petal works is that the center line of it is something like this, comes over here and down there like that. So we'll deal with that in a minute. So take some away in here, but keep it, don't undercut. And you can see here is where a drill hole went in, and of course there will be a shaping of this eventually to the outside edge. So all that'll be cleaned up. So here this comes down in here, and this is wrapping around. And then on this side we have another S bend here. And again, we can work that into there, but not too much at the moment, just get that defined. This bit at the back here will have to come away. It's actually part of this petal. And then you have the third petal at the back here, which will have to go further back. These stamens I've taken back, and they tilt a little bit like that. They tilt down into there. So this is higher here and back there. So just a little bit. So when we've got that looking pretty much like the other one, the only thing we need to do is sort of join them together in this middle bit, a bit lower down here. So I've joined this bottom part with this top part, and I've got a line that runs through this whole stem across there, and I'm just drawing in roughly where I think the edges will be. And remember, this is going to be rounded, so if anything we'll make this fatter, because a round thing will look narrower than a flat thing. It's just one of those optical things because you're disappearing over the horizon. So don't be too tight on that area. But I've got a line that's running across, so that's the important thing, that connects it. So what I'll do is clear some of this waste away, so we can protect that bit there. And we can take some of this back. And this will come right to the back down there. Where's my down here? Still fairly rough. You know, we're still working things out, and we can take some of that off here, back over there. I'm going to leave this bit in the middle here between this leaf and this stem until I start rounding things over. And of course this bit here, the back is going to be further back. So that's really it. Get some sense of that going behind here, and leave that bit there, and then everything's joined up, and that'll be pretty much the end of our second pass. Here we are at the end of the second pass. If you compare this with the end of the first pass, you'll see there's quite a bit of difference in the feel of it. We've still got areas that are unfinished. We've got stuff still on the surface that's quite flat. We'll have to move, but we've got a lot of depth. We've come to the back behind the frame. We're still at the front here. And the whole thing is looking, I think, pretty good. So the next stage is to go a third pass and start modelling some of these, refining some of these shapes.